The history of mankind goes back thousands of years, during which time people have built and then personally destroyed hundreds of cities, many of which we can only learn about through the accounts of historians. But there are several polities which have stood the test of time and in whose walls, thousands of years after their founding, people continue to live. We will talk about them today. Plovdiv is the second largest city in Bulgaria and second only to the capital Sofia. It is older than Rome and was a contemporary of ancient Troy. The modern city lies on the ruins of many former settlements, and the oldest findings in the territory of Plovdiv date back to the 6th millennium BC, when the first permanent settlements appeared in the Neolithic. During its history Plovdiv has been under the Roman, Byzantine, Nicaea and Ottoman rule. And it became part of Bulgaria only in 1885. According to various estimates at the moment Plovdiv is about 6,000 years old. And now it is home to about 370,000 people. Another city that has stopped at a figure close to 6,000 years is Sidon. It was once one of the centers of the Phoenician Empire and the most important Mediterranean port. That is why many empires tried to take this city under their control. Thus it was under the patronage of Babylon, Assyria, Egypt, Macedonia, Rome, and the Ottomans. Today it is part of Lebanon, home to 200,000 people. Iraqi Erbil is another city that has made it into the 6,000-year-old club. According to scientists, it was built during the time of the Sumerian civilization, and then continued its existence under the banners of various empires. Today Erbil is a UNESCO site and home to more than 800,000 people. It is also worth noting that for such an ancient city, it is very well preserved. The Iranian city of Susa is located not far from where Mesopotamia used to be. In the early Sumerian documents Susa is mentioned as the capital of the ancient state of Elam. And its age exceeds 7,000 years. During its history, Susa has been at least once completely destroyed. This happened through the efforts of the Assyrians. However, the city was soon rebuilt and reached its peak of development during the Persian Empire. Today Susa is home to about 65,000 inhabitants, consisting mainly of Shiite Muslims and Persian Jews. Athens is the cradle of Greek civilization, founded about 7,000 years ago. It was named in honor of its patroness, the goddess of war and wisdom Athena. It was here that the first model of democratic society appeared, which is still considered the best of existing ones. Athens was the birthplace of such famous philosophers and writers as Sophocles, Aristotle, Socrates, Euripides and Plato. The ideas highlighted in their works are still relevant today, making Athens the cradle of modern scientific thought. The city had been destroyed and rebuilt several times in its history, and once under the influence of the Roman Empire, for a long time could not regain its independence. It was only at the beginning of the century before last when the Kingdom of Greece was founded, that it regained its status and became the capital of the new state. Athens currently has a population of over 3 million people and its ancient sites attract tourists from all over the world. Argos is located about 100 kilometers from Athens and it can compete with the Greek capital in who is the most ancient, since it is no less than 7,000 years old. And the history of Argos is not much inferior to Athens. Among its founders, if the myths are to be believed, was the grandson of Hercules. And the ruling king Adrastus is known for his numerous campaigns against the capital of Egypt, Thebes. However, today Argos has lost its former greatness and has survived to this day largely thanks to the fertile soil, which gave and gives people a good harvest. There are also remained ancient monuments of architecture and the modern population is only a little over 20,000 people. Aleppo is said to have been founded by Phoenicians. However, historical findings point to older structures. And it is believed that the place was inhabited as early as 8,000 years ago. There are still a lot of historical monuments, but their number has been quite reduced because of the recent war in Syria. Today Aleppo is the most populous city in Syria with a population of about 2 million people. Located about 42 miles north of Beirut, Byblos is the oldest city in Lebanon. The city was first inhabited about 7,000 years ago and, according to the ancient writer Philo, Byblos was the oldest city in the world. For a long time it remained the largest port on the Mediterranean Sea. The inhabitants made their living by transporting timber to Egypt and bringing back papyrus, which was then carried to cities all along the coast. Now Byblos, now called Jebel, was inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List in 1984 and is inhabited by only 40,000 people. Damascus, the capital of Syria, has been inhabited since ancient times. According to various accounts, even 9,000 years ago people lived here. The city is mentioned in the Old Testament, and Arab historians link the emergence of Damascus with the legend of the world flood. They believe its walls were the first to be erected after the waters receded. Damascus has been in the hands of Egyptians, Jews, Assyrians, Persians, Macedonians, Romans, Arabs, and Crusaders. Each of its owner has left his mark on the walls of the city. Today, Damascus is home to about 1.7 million people and was inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List in 1979. Jericho is located on the west bank of the Jordan River in present-day Palestine and is considered the oldest inhabited city in the world, which was probably inhabited as early as 11,000 years ago. Jericho was originally inhabited by hunters and gatherers of the Natufian culture. It reached its heyday during the Bronze Age. Jericho was destroyed and had to be rebuilt several times in the course of its history. Today Jericho is home to about 20,000 residents. Write in the comments about what city I may have forgotten or what you would like to hear in the next videos. That will be all for me. See you soon.